Now let's look at some tests that can help us in determining how good is a trend line. These tests are referred to as tests of authority. Let's look at them one by one. The first important consideration in testing a trend line is the number of bottoms or tops. The greater the number of bottoms or tops that have been developed, either at the trend line or very near the trend line, the greater the importance of that line in the technical sense. With each successive test, the significance of the line increases. A first and a tentative uptrend line can be drawn as soon as two bottoms have been formed. So for example, a first and tentative uptrend line can be drawn when two bottoms have been identified. So once we have identified these two bottoms, we can draw a trend line through them by joining those 2 points. Now if prices move away from the trend line and then come back to retest this trend line and do not break this trend line, then the validity of the trend line will be confirmed because the trend line has acted as a support for the trend. Now if it so happens that this trend line is tested again a fourth time and again the prices take support at this trend line and rally, then the significance of this trend line is considerably enhanced. Another way to test the authority of the trend line is by looking at the length of the trend line. The longer the trend line holds without being penetrated, the greater its technical significance. So when comparing two trend lines, if a trend line has existed for longer period, then that trend line is the more significant one. However, when comparing trend lines, greater weight should be given to the number of bottoms or tops that have formed on a trend line than to its length alone. The next important criteria for testing a trend line's authority is the angle of the trend line. The angle of the trend line should be measured against the horizontal axis. The angle of the trend line is a good criterion of its validity as a true delimiter of the intermediate trend. If the angle of the trend line is very steep, then such a trend line can be easily broken by a brief sideways consolidation move. Such steep lines are of little forecasting value to the technical analyst. The less steep the trend line, the more important it is considered to be technically. And so greater significance is attached to any downside breakout for a trend line that is flat compared to a trend line which is steep. However, the degree of steepness or flatness is a subjective criteria, and one requires significant experience and practice to determine which trend lines are steep enough to be not of much forecasting value and which ones are flat enough to be of technical importance. For example, if we compare these two trend lines here, this trend line is more steep because its angle to the horizontal is greater than the angle to the horizontal for this trend line. So this is the more steeper trend line and this is the trend line which is less steep. And so when you see a downside break through this trend line, it would be of much greater significance than a downside break from a trend line which is much steeper than this trend line. As you can see from this chart, once the prices broke the flatter trend line, the downside movement was much sharper when compared to the downside movement when this steeper trend line was broken. So you should remember that the flatter the trend line, that is the more nearly horizontal the trend line, the more important it is technically, and a downside break through it is of greater significance. Next, let's look at what criteria we should use to test the validity of penetration of a trend line. We'll be discussing essentially 3 criteria for appraising the authority or accuracy of an intermediate uptrend. The first of this is the extent of penetration. For a penetration to be decisive, it is important that prices must not only push through the line, but close beyond it by a margin equal to about 3% of the stock's price. This movement of 3% need not be accomplished in a single day, although what is seen is that whenever there is a valid penetration of a trend line, it so happens that the prices move by 3% beyond the trend line in a single day. But sometimes the 3% penetration may come as a result of 2 or 3 days of gradual decline. The second important criteria for validity of penetration is the volume of trading. If the prices have moved by a margin of 3% beyond the line, it is not necessary for volume to have expanded much at that point in order to confirm the validity of the penetration. However, what is seen is that the breaking of an intermediate uptrend is usually attended by some visible intensification of trading activity. To this extent, an increase in volume may be regarded as confirmation of a decisive penetration. Volume also happens to be a useful adjunct in case of borderline cases. For example, if prices start to decline from a point somewhere above the trend line and move down through the trend line on conspicuously expanding turnover and say close beyond the trend line by only 2% of the price, but at or near the bottom of the day's range, then in such a scenario the 3% margin rule which we had set here would not be satisfied. But if this move is accompanied by a substantial increase in volume, then we may regard such a penetration as decisive. Also, when you start using trend lines, you will realize that many times there are certain shakeout moves that happen in which the prices crack down through the trend line with a great flurry of activity, and after some minutes the prices turn back up again and close the day either back above the trend line or at least very close to it. This usually is a false move so far as that particular movement is concerned. In such a scenario, it becomes important to watch the next few days' performance very closely, and the analyst should be aware that the technical situation is very critical because a shakeout like this could not have been easily staged. Another test for validity of penetration is the break of a support or resistance level. This test also applies particularly to breaks which are borderline in as far as the margin of penetration is concerned. Now, suppose the stock has managed to penetrate a trend line but does not meet our criteria of 3% move below the trend line, and also suppose that there has not been any increase in the trading volume. Now suppose if it fluctuates there for a day or two in a dull and narrow market and then starts to rally, and suppose there is no pickup in activity on this recovery move and the prices simply come and touch back the underside of the trend line and then tend to round over without being able to close over the trend line, then in such a situation, the slightest sign of renewed selling pressure must be taken as a signal that the uptrend has been decisively broken. Now these three tests with respect to establishing the validity of a trendline penetration cannot be applied inflexibly and without a modicum of judgment. These rules should be considered to be general guidelines rather than hard and fast rules. As you keep applying these rules with experience, you will learn to interpret which penetrations are for real and which penetrations are just false moves.